Hey everyone, Big Mike here, and you may be asking yourself, Big Mike, why oh why do you have piles and piles of Japanese 360 games in front of you? Well, for those of you who've been watching Chargeback Forward for the past 3 years now or so, know that I collect Japanese 360 games, especially these lovely special editions. But, as you will also remember, every time I buy one of these bloody things, I am the first one to complain that I do not have a Japanese 360. And here's the main problem with that. When this generation was coming out, the 360 and the PS3, both Sony and Microsoft told publishers, hey, this time it's up to you guys. You can region lock your games or you can keep them region free, whatever you want to do. You know, the global economy has finally been accepted. So, on the PS3 front, as far as I know, most, if not all, games were actually region free. Now on the 360, things got a bit more complicated, and for no good reason, in my opinion. Games were subsequently region locked and some were region free, and the oddest thing I thought is the region free games were mostly games that were already available, like in North America. Which kind of didn't make any sense to me, because I figured if you're going to region lock anything, you'd want to region lock a game that's available in multiple markets. That way you guarantee the sale of said game in that market. And there were games, and there are several of them in Japan, like tons of them, where these games, the publishers had zero intention, I mean freaking zero intention, of releasing them in North America, and they region locked them. I do not understand why that is. I would figure these companies would think, hey, there's enough crazy people like me out there in North America or other regions that they could probably sell several thousand more. And when we're talking 360 in Japan, several thousand more actually is a pretty good number for them. So there are a few region-free games on the 360. I will go through those on another video perhaps if you like, but there are about, last count, I'm probably wrong here, about 8 or 9 or so that are region-free that never came out over here. So I was stuck with all these wonderful games and no way to play them. And my main problem was the Japanese 360 is effing expensive if you want to buy one. I understand sellers want to make a bit more because you're buying an exotic item that's not available, so of course, yeah, make your money, for sure, that's what you do. But the problem is sellers and professional websites were just asking crazy money for it. So, by luck, I decided to look on Amazon.com one day. I was almost at the end. I was ready to buy a Japanese 360 no matter the price, because I figured, you know what, it's a miracle they even make the system in Japan still, and time is ticking away. The next generation's on its way in. They're just going to be hard to get. So I was ready to spend the 400 or so, or 450 that most places were asking. I didn't care. I check Amazon.com, and sure enough, there's a Japanese 360 there selling for $245 with free shipping from Japan. And the guy was going to use EMS shipping, which if you guys don't know what that is, that's Japan's express shipping, and it's fast. Like, if you can order something from Japan, use EMS, and you can literally get it in North America in a couple days. So I thought it was a mistake, so I, buy as fast as I could, and I still didn't believe it was going to go through. I got an email from Amazon saying, yep, purchase is approved, and I said, you know what, I still don't believe it. A few days later, I get an email saying your item is shipped. I'm like, you know what, still don't believe it till it's sitting on my door. And then a knock came on my door a couple days later, and it was the post guy with his big box from Japan. I even said to myself as I'm signing it, still don't believe it, not until I open it. And I open it, and I am proud to announce that yes, I finally have a Japanese 360. And this one was brand new. It wasn't even used, it was brand freaking new. And the funny thing is, I felt bad for about 30 seconds. One thing that's always bothered me, why was this so cheap? Why was this guy literally $200 cheaper than everyone else? There was a note inside the package. Basically, this guy had said in his, English is obviously not his first language, so as best he could write, that he basically said, yes, he screwed up on the pricing, and basically, congratulations, just please leave me some positive feedback. You took advantage of my mistake. So, believe me, the guilt in my mind disappeared in a few seconds. So, now, I can finally talk about Japanese 360 games that I've played. Now, I have a massive pile of Japanese 360 games here, and the honest truth is, I haven't had a chance to play them all yet. So I wanted to give a quick rundown because I'm sure there's a few of you asking, hey, is it worth it to buy a Japanese 360? And this is a big investment. I got lucky with the price. Chances are, if you want one, it's going to be quite a bit more than what I paid. So, here's the answer. Do you like bullet hell shooters? Because I do. I really like bullet hell shooters. If you guys don't know what that is, they're basically a shooter, like if you remember playing Gradius or R-Type, but the bullets fill up the entire screen, hence the word bullet hell. But your ship moves differently than most shooters. It's hard to explain until you play it, but you can dodge in and out of these bullets. It takes a lot of concentration. They're super difficult. And it's funny, I've been playing a few and Terrence has been watching me and he eventually just shakes his head and goes like, I can't watch this anymore. And what happens is everything around you becomes this giant blur and you're just so focused on what's going on. So I really like that style of game, and the Xbox 360 is a haven for bullet hell shooters. There are just tons of them on there, and a few of them are region free, so please, I will, if you want to ask, and I'll put in the comments which ones are region free, but there's tons that are not, and I just love them so much. For me, it's definitely worth it. Now, keep in mind, the 360 is home to two style of games basically in Japan that we're not getting over here. One is the bullet hell shooter, as mentioned, and the other one is the visual novel. The visual novel, obviously these games are 100% in Japanese, not recommended at all unless you're a complete effing nerd like me and just love the pretty pictures and all the artwork and all the bonuses they come with. Other than that, yeah, no, the special editions are killer expensive, and like I said, unless you're a nutcase like me, then definitely no, steer clear of them. But the one thing I love is that, going back to bullet hell shooters, is that even though the Xbox 360 was a failure in Japan, not saying anything nobody knows, not bashing it, just saying like, listen, various reasons, we should actually, Terrence and I should do a video on that one time because that's a very interesting subject of why it failed in Japan. But the good news is companies out there are still supporting it like crazy. I would assume that's because Microsoft is probably charging them little to no licensing fee right now, so they can literally just throw whatever they want on it just to experiment. And up until like even just a couple days ago, I got this one here. Now, keep in mind, I'm really horrible at pronouncing words, especially Japanese words. I can barely speak English, let alone another language. So, Caladrius, we'll call this, another bullet hell shooter that literally just came out and is region locked, so I finally get to play it. And another one here. Look at this. I got cheat notes, and I'm not copying Rue from Atlantic Girl's Gig here. I really don't know how to pronounce this. Mushi Himi Sama. Or the loose translation is Insect Princess. So the first one that came out in 360 was actually region free. This is an HD remake of one of the first games to show up on the PS2. This is region locked, so you have to have a Japanese 360 to play this one. Some other games like the Donpachis. Now I know if you're in the UK or the PAL regions, a company, I want to say Rising Star Games, actually did release this over there, so you lucky bastards, you got an actual region free. Or an actual legitimate region release of this game, but us here in Canada and the United States did not. And there are also tons of, there we go, there's a good one. Over here we got Odemedius Excellent. This is the original, the Odemedius G, which was Japan only. So again, if you liked Odemedius Excellent and wanted to see maybe where some of its roots come from, this one right here, I've been playing this one like crazy. Really enjoy this one. I actually have a few more games on the way. If you guys have played a game called Ochinabara, which is a hack and slash, samurai girl, blood splattering zombie type game, they did release one for the Wii and the 360 over here. The sequel never did come out. I have actually that one in the mail right now, coming out over here. So if you guys go to our Facebook page, like our Facebook page, A, you would have known about the Japanese 360 about a month ago, and B, I'm always posting cool pictures of all this crazy stuff I get from Japan, so if you guys are into that, just go to our Facebook page and check it out. There are literally, okay, here's a good one. Japan loves their perv games. There's Gun Gal. Just, play this one by yourself. If anyone sees you playing this, whew, let's put it that way. But there you go, guys. This is a kind of a work in progress. I've got so many bloody games here to go through, and this is just the tip of the iceberg right now. It's almost like, well, it is like having a new system, to tell you the truth. To me, it was like a system launch, because suddenly now, this giant world of all these new games, these foreign games, are now open to me. and I'm playing them constantly and getting a lot of use out of my Japanese 360. So I will continue doing this, and I will post maybe another vid in another month or so, or another 2 months, about more experience I have as I buy more and more Japanese games. So if you guys have any questions, and I'm sure you do, and I couldn't cover them all in this video, please feel free to ask. I'll either answer them in the comments or compile all your questions and make a video about them, because I know this is something that a lot of people have been interested in, and since it is such a huge investment, especially now at the end of the generation, so a lot of people might not want to jump into it without as much information as possible, so I will do what I can to help you out. Okay guys, if you don't mind, I am going to get back to playing some games.